Alton Towers Resort is one of Britain's biggest theme parks. The history of the attraction dates back over 100 years, and 2020 will be its 40th season operating as a theme park. In this new series, we are taking a look at the history of some of Alton Towers' most iconic attractions. This is Theme Park Realm, and today we are taking a look at the history of the Black Hole. The Black Hole opened in March 1984. It was the first major coaster to be added to the park since the installation of the corkscrew, only 4 years earlier. The Black Hole was also the first indoor coaster at the resort. The Black Hole opened along with a new area called Fantasy World, which later became X-Sector after the installation of Oblivion in 1998. Fantasy World featured a number of attractions during its time at the resort, including a bobsleigh, vintage car ride, cinema, miniature golf, the pirate ship, and a Turbo Star flat ride. The whole of Fantasy World was very bright and vibrant. Even the Black Hole's enclosure was painted bright yellow and green from the outside. The Black Hole was located inside a huge tent. The ride experience took place in almost complete darkness. The coaster itself was a Jetstar 2, manufactured by Anton Schwarzkopf. Riders entered through a small opening on the side of the tent. They then walked through a small indoor section of queue line before entering the ride station. Once dispatched, the ride went straight into a spiral lift hill. As the ride slowly climbed to the top, riders could sense that they were getting higher, only by some illuminated asteroids which hung from the ceiling at the top of the tent. The ride reached a top height of 13 metres before riders would plunge down its first drop. Although the ride wasn't tall by today's standards, due to the reduced visibility inside the tent, it was very unpredictable for people who had never ridden it before. Many changes were made to the ride throughout its life. In 1985, the bottom of the first drop was modified to make the ride run more smoothly. Lights were also added to the lift, so riders were able to just about see where the first drop started, allowing them to brace themselves. For the 1988 season, after just 4 years of operation, the ride was completely dismantled and received a major refurbishment. This would allow the ride to run on dual car trains. This was a necessary adjustment to increase the ride's capacity. The modified ride was advertised as the Black Hole 2 for that year. It was then named the New Black Hole for the following season. The ride continued to be very popular in the resort's lineup, and in 1993 the ride received a new extended outdoor queue line. The new queue line actually followed sections of the former Vintage Cars ride, after it was closed many years before. The Black Hole remained very much the same until 1996, when the ride station, along with its indoor section of queue line, was updated with new theming. In 1997, in order to help improve the external look of the ride, the tent was painted dark blue. A year later, Oblivion opened, and huge changes were made to the whole area as it was rethemed to X-Sector, a dark, sinister facility. The Black Hole received a brand new entrance to match the style of Oblivion's. The Black Hole remained largely unchanged until 2005, when the decision was taken to remove the ride. Due to increased maintenance costs, it was no longer sustainable to keep the ageing ride. The ride was standing but not operating for some time before being dismantled and removed in 2007, although the ride's tent would remain in place for many years to come. Much to the surprise of many, the Black Hole was actually refurbished after its removal, and the coaster still operates to this day. The ride was moved to a Swedish theme park in 2011 and now operates as Rocket. It's barely recognisable from Alton Towers, as it's not only now completely outside, but it also sports a red and blue colour scheme. During the 2010 season, 13 made its debut at Alton Towers. What you may not know is that the X-Sector was actually the proposed area for the Dark Forest. Concept art saw the Black Hole's tent used to house a Robo-Arm style flat ride. Although this idea never materialised, it did lead to some pretty cool concept art. The Black Hole's tent and entrance remained in place for many years. In 2011, the tent was reopened for one last time, where it housed 2 temporary scare mazes for Alton Towers Scarefest. During that very season, the idea of reusing the tent came about again. The park was looking to install an indoor drop tower ride. Later they decided to create a new building for this, and of course this opened in March 2012 as Nemesis Subterra. Finally, the black hole tent was removed in 2012 to make way for Secret Weapon 7, or the Smiler as it's now known. There is very little left of the former ride. All that now remains of the black hole is a satellite dish, which now resides atop the Marmalizer on the Smiler. If you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. If you do have any memories of the black hole as well, I'd be very interested to hear, so please let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thank you very much for watching.